another thing that happened to you recently, I think it was a couple months ago. I was on Facebook and I saw that there had been a song of yours sampled. I believe
Oh,
you told me it was a song written in back in the 70s that you wrote, and it
yes.
was sampled by one of the most famous music artists in the world, DJ Khaled. He sampled one of your songs in his song that's called "Grateful." And do
Yeah,
you
that's
do you
right.
know which song was it that was actually sampled?
It's a song called "Let the Blessings Flow,"
Hmm.
and this is crazy, Greg. We were in Brazil. This is just like a couple months ago. We were in Brazil preaching the Brazilian National Women's Conference, and we were staying with the Coopers, fabulous missionary people. I don't know if you know them, but oh my goodness, they're unbelievable. But we were sitting at their table and dinner table, and my son-in-law Christopher FaceTimed us, which that's a miracle. He's been married to Kate for 13 years and he's never FaceTimed. So I'm like, oh, this is really terrifying, or I don't know, something amazing, because this is not happening. But anyway, it was so cute, Greg. He says, Nan, is this your song? And so he plays Let the Blessings Flow. And I said, yeah, I that's mine. And he said, well, is this your song? And I said, yeah. I said, it sounds like they put a keyboard or a filter, something, but yeah, I said, why? And he said, well, I just found out in your BMI account, I saw some activity, which is there's monies in there.
Mhm.
And he said, I found out that DJ Khaled had used that song to sample on one of his songs on one of his projects, God Did,
Mhm.
which is to note that there are only 3 songs on that entire project that you can listen to if you're a Christian, because the rest
Yeah,
of them
yeah.
are explicit.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what that meant. I actually asked Christopher, I said, what is all these songs that say E? And he said, then you can't listen to those.
E for everyone.
Yeah, right. But anyway, so it was crazy. And so that song we were in, wow, I mean, 1977, we were in like these sticks way out in Mississippi in this darling, amazing community of people, this church. And it was Sunday afternoon, and we'd gone out to eat with the pastors. We were in revival, and we'd come back to the church to have prayer, Richard M. and I. And so we were having prayer, and I just sat down at this piano that half of the keys were missing. And it was like, it came over on the Mayflower, hadn't been tuned since it. And so I just started, it was really a worship to God. Let the blessings flow, let the blessings flow right to my soul, to my soul. And I just sat in that tiny church way out in the sticks of Mississippi and wrote that song. And the next year I got I got a contract with New Pax Records, which is part of Word, which nobody knows what that is, because that was, the dinosaur era. But so I went to Nashville and I recorded in Music Sound Studio, I think it was, and I recorded that song. Here's the thing, Greg, that when we offer our gifts freely and we just hold out our hands and say, God, here's the gift you gave to me and I'm giving it back. And there is no expectation anywhere. Just if you can use it, I would be so thrilled. But even if you don't use it, I just love you, and I'm going to sing this to you because you deserve my heart's praise. And so, here we are, 2025. And this world famous rapper, DJ Khaled, who, by the way, I had no idea who that was. Never heard.
I'm
Never
not
heard.
surprised.
No. I'm like, what? How do you spell that? Anyway, yeah. So it was just, you know what it was, Greg, because we've been going through the last 5 years of our life. Honestly, if I told you everything we've been through, you'd say you're making it all up. This
Mm,
can't be happening to you. But I do believe that God always comes at the right time and just lets us know, I see right where you're at.
mm,
I know what you're going through. And it was kind of like a God wink, Greg. He's like, okay, I'm gonna let this world famous rapper, I'm gonna let him record your song. And I'm like, honestly, Greg, I laughed for 3 hours. After Christopher called, I couldn't stop laughing. It was so hilarious. This world famous rapper is doing my song, this old granny, 73 years old. He recorded my song, and I loved God for that so much, because he just pours out extraordinary gifts on our lives that we have no idea. Like, God, how did that happen? There
mm.
are a bajillion writers, a bajillion Christian songs in the whole wide world. How in this world did DJ Khaled decide to use Nancy Grandquist, Let the Blessings Flow?
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I was just thinking about that, and I assumed you probably didn't know the story because they just used it. But
No.
yeah, it's incredible. Like of all of the songs of all of the artists, and it
Yes.
just so happened to be yours. It's incredible.
And that's why I want to encourage, if you have artists that are on here that are watching this podcast, people that or love ministry, and they want to preach, or they want to sing, or they want to serve, in whatever capacity they feel called and God has gifted them, to never ever think that what God has given to you in your hands is insignificant. There is nothing too small, no gift so small that God can't bring about the most beautiful and significant things.
Mm,
We just have to freely offer them, and say, okay, God, I just love you, and I just want to serve you. And so here I am.
mm,
And that's kind of what happened on that DJ Khaled thing. And the really great miracle is that, so we've been kind of down on cash the last little bit. Some things have happened, and I'm like, oh Lord, the property tax is coming. Now what? That check came right on time and
oh wait,
paid
wow,
property tax.
wow.
Another one came last week. I paid my Urshan University school bill. So I'm just telling you that God has got us. He's got us. We
It's
don't
amazing.
need to worry. He is going to perform. I love that story in Luke where Mary was pondering about the things of God. And Mary said, there will be a performance of what God is going to do. And honestly, if we live by that standard, it may not look like it's happening. It's like, God, where are you? What do you understand what's happening? He does. And
Mm,
he brings about the miraculous in the most unusual ways, like a DJ Khaled miracle.
mm, yeah. And I see both sides of the miracle in that, you were blessed in a most unusual way, completely unexpected. You weren't expecting that. It's actually still makes me kind of laugh a little bit hearing you say DJ Khaled. It's just funny, but um,
Right? Hey, listen, Greg, I got to tell you that my grandkids love me. We got 16 grandkids. But when my grandkids heard that DJ Khaled had sampled a song of mine, I went up in the next level with my grand. We got the coolest man in the world. It was
It's
so
like
precious.
your Nan's cool, but my Nan was on
Yes.
a DJ Khaled album. But the other side of it is also is also miraculous in that, people are going to listen to that song, and as you said, the majority of that album you can't you can't listen to if you're a Christian. And there's going to be people that listen to it that had a relationship with God, maybe grew up in church, and they're going to hear you sing, and there's nothing like, you talked about this in our first conversation we had together, but there's nothing like an anointed person singing praises to God, singing worship to God, and it can break through. Whether it's in a means where it wasn't necessarily expected on a song like that, but it can make the difference in someone's life, and I know people will feel the presence of God listening to a song like that, even
We're
though,
trusting. Yeah, I'm trusting
mm,
that DJ Khaled.
yeah, it
Greg,
was interesting that he would do an album like that, where it's just,
God did, right? But
yeah,
someone told us that he's on a God journey.
mm,
That he is looking for God, and his parents are Palestinian, is what I read somewhere.
mm,
But yeah, so I don't know. This one thing I do know about God is when he does things like this, it's not just okay, we're going to put a song on there and then da, da, da. There's another reason, there's another why.
mm,
And if that is that I could ever talk to him and encourage him in the Lord or speak a word of faith or whatever,